flipping through the newspapers, switching through multiple news channels, exploring different websites and online mediums for relevant news? Keeping up to date with important news is not only time-consuming but also requires meticulous upkeep of notes for thorough revision. With a limited period in hand and abundant resources to study from, do not let current affairs come in the way of your prelims success. Join the PT 365 program by Vision IAS and advance in your preparation for current affairs. Starting on 9th January at 5 p.m., this 20-day course offers comprehensive coverage of 1 year of current affairs in 60 hours. Join for improved knowledge with complete coverage of The Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, Economic Times, Yojana, Economic Survey, etc. Doubt-clearing sessions and mentoring for thorough knowledge. Access to Sandhan personalized test with 25,000 plus questions. Access to live and online classes for flexibility in timing. It's time to devote your energy to smart learning and not running. Enroll today and excel in UPSC prelims with a strong command of current affairs.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. Stampede caused by overcrowding at Tirupati resulted in loss of lives. Union Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs highlights need for better urban planning. Home Minister chaired the review meeting of Bureau of Police Research and Development. Role of trade in reducing food insecurity and preventing famine examined by UNCTAD report. Ministry of Commerce and Industry launched 8th edition of National Program for Organic Production. Government makes 10,000 genome database available to researchers across the globe. In the first news for the day, let's focus on an important story about a stampede caused by overcrowding at Tirupati, resulting in a tragic loss of lives. Let's begin by understanding what a stampede is. It is an impulsive mass movement of a crowd that often results in injuries and deaths, primarily due to traumatic asphyxia or other injuries. Reportedly, religious gatherings have accounted for 79% of India's stampedes between 1954 and 2012. Recent examples include the unfortunate incident at Hathras and Kalkaji Temple in 2024. To manage such situations, the National Disaster Management Authority has issued guidelines on crowd management. These guidelines emphasize capacity planning through infrastructure development, understanding crowd behavior, and effective crowd control by restricting or limiting group actions. Risk assessment and mitigation are key strategies, focusing on identifying and addressing potential hazards before they escalate. Information management, which ensures clear communication with visitors and stakeholders, is equally critical. Safety and security measures like CCTV surveillance and emergency exits are mandatory, along with equipped medical facilities and trained personnel. Traffic management through efficient transportation systems and clear route markings also plays a vital role. Adding to the complexity of managing such situations are several triggers of stampedes that ultimately lead to crowd disasters. Structural issues such as the collapse of barricades, slippery roads, or difficult terrain often create hazardous conditions, especially in high footfall areas. Fire safety violations like those observed in the tragic Ubhar Cinema fire of 1997 underscore the severe consequences of inadequate safety measures and negligence. Management challenges also exacerbate the situation, with overcrowding and the underdeployment of personnel making it difficult to regulate crowds effectively. Governance gaps further compound these problems, as the lack of coordination between authorities, such as the district magistrate and fire services, can delay critical interventions. Lastly, human psychology plays a pivotal part in crowd disasters, as panic or fear often triggers impulsive and chaotic movements leading to tragic outcomes. Understanding and addressing these interconnected factors is vital for preventing future tragedies. Now let's discuss some best practices in crowd management from around the world. Countries like Japan and Singapore leverage advanced technologies such as AI-powered crowd monitoring systems, real-time data analysis, and mobile applications. Saudi Arabia, for instance, effectively manages the Hajj pilgrimage through crowd flow modeling and designated time slots for rituals. The recent incident of Stampede serves as a stark reminder of the importance of proactive measures in crowd management to ensure the safety and well-being of all.
Moving on, the Union Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs has highlighted the need for better urban planning. The minister emphasized the importance of sustainable urban environments and effective planning, particularly as 50% of the population is expected to reside in cities by 2024. Let's first look at the present issues in urban planning. Outdated spatial and temporal plans have failed to accommodate the rapid population growth. A lack of modern planning frameworks, rigid master plans, and restrictive zoning regulations further complicate the issue. Housing challenges are another significant concern. For instance, building regulations often limit urban density, leading to the proliferation of slums. As per the 2011 census, 17.3% of the urban population in India lived in slums. Environmental challenges also pose a threat, with issues like air pollution adversely affecting health, productivity, and overall quality of life. Additionally, there is a glaring lack of disaster resilience in cities. A notable example is the Chennai floods of 2015, caused by the encroachment of lakes and riverbeds. Now, what steps can be taken to address these challenges? The minister stressed the need to enhance the ease of living by equipping city management staff with the necessary skills and knowledge required to plan better and manage cities. The use of data and technology is also crucial to making capacity-building initiatives a driving force for stronger urban governance. Incorporating traditional wisdom into planning can help reimagine historic Indian cities and shape the future of urban landscapes. Furthermore, cities need to be developed as examples of equity, equality, and sustainability. This can be achieved through innovation and citizen-centric governance, ensuring inclusiveness, especially for marginalized communities. Let's also take a look at some initiatives already in place. The Smart Cities mission, launched in 2015, aims to improve the quality of life in 100 cities by providing efficient services, robust infrastructure, and sustainable solutions. The Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban Mission focuses on providing housing in urban areas. Efforts are also being made to facilitate rental housing for industrial workers through public-private partnerships alongside transit-oriented development plans. In conclusion, the Union Minister's call for action highlights the urgency to rethink urban planning strategies and ensure sustainable, inclusive, and resilient cities for the future.
Moving ahead, let's focus on the Home Minister's review meeting of the Bureau of Police Research and Development, or BPR&D. During the meeting, the Home Minister reviewed BPR&D's work on implementing new criminal laws and emphasized addressing grassroots policing challenges while enhancing the global image of Indian police. The BPR&D was established in 1970 under the Home Ministry with the primary objective of modernizing the police force. Policing in India is primarily a state subject under the Indian Constitution, which means it is governed by the states. However, the centre supports states through central police forces, especially in matters of intelligence and internal security challenges like insurgencies. The police are entrusted with key functions such as enforcing laws, investigating crimes, maintaining law and order, providing security, and ensuring public safety. To maintain accountability, ministers exercise superintendence and control over police forces. Now, let's look at the need for police reforms. Operational efficiency is hindered by infrastructure shortages such as inadequate weapons and vehicles. Investigation struggles also persist, with overburdened and undertrained staff and only 11.75% of personnel being women. Additionally, inadequate usage of technology hampers investigative processes. Public perception of the police remains a concern, as they are often seen as corrupt and inefficient, which erodes trust, as noted in the Second Administrative Reforms Commission. Furthermore, accountability issues like misuse of police power by political leaders and instances of custodial deaths undermine public confidence. Emerging threats such as digital fraud and cybercrimes demand swift adaptation and enhanced capabilities within the police force. Several initiatives have been undertaken to reform state police. The Modernization of State Police Forces or MPF scheme is a 5-year program from 2021 to 2026 with 15 sub-schemes aimed at improving police infrastructure and operations. Another key initiative is Smart Policing, introduced by the Prime Minister in 2014, which focuses on making the police strict and sensitive, modern and mobile, alert and accountable, reliable and responsive, and tech-savvy and trained. The government has also emphasized increasing women's representation in the police force, advising states and union territories to establish all-women police stations in every district and increase the number of women personnel to 33%. To address all the challenges, strengthening the state police force can be achieved through measures like community policing and implementing the Supreme Court's directions from the Prakash Singh versus Union of India of 2006 case. These reforms are crucial to ensure a more effective and trusted police system in India. Now, let's dive into the findings of a recent UNCTAD report that examines the role of trade in reducing food insecurity and preventing famine. The report sheds light on the drivers of hunger and how trade can address this global challenge. To start with some staggering figures, over 280 million people faced acute hunger in 2023, while around 733 million dealt with chronic hunger. Without immediate action, this number could rise to 582 million chronically hungry people by 2030. Now, let's discuss the key drivers of global hunger. Armed conflicts affected 5 million people across 20 countries in 2022. Climate change has been another critical factor, reducing agricultural productivity by 21% since 1961. Meanwhile, urbanization is increasingly blurring the lines between rural and urban areas, significantly impacting agri-food systems. Moving on to the role of trade in reducing food insecurity. The report emphasizes that trade can play a crucial role in mitigating hunger. For example, sustainable supplies through trade can ensure food availability. About 30% of Africa's cereal needs are met through imports. Trade can also help stabilize prices and markets. A notable example is the Black Sea Initiative, brokered by the UN and Turkey during the Russia-Ukraine war, which facilitated the export of food and fertilizers. However, trade comes with its challenges. Higher costs, such as non-tariff measures like sanitary standards, can increase food import cost by 20%. Additionally, high import dependency exposes countries to global price hikes and supply chain disruptions. Rising transportation costs disproportionately affect developing and least developed countries, adding to their vulnerabilities. To tackle these challenges, the report offers several recommendations. It calls for reaching a short-term export facilitation mechanism to combat severe food insecurity at international platforms like the WTO. It also suggests reducing trade barriers and boosting export capacities of food insecure nations. Investing in trade infrastructure like ports, transport networks, and storage facilities can help shorten supply chains and reduce vulnerabilities, especially for low-income countries. Finally, supporting climate-smart and sustainable farming in developing nations is essential to build resilience and ensure food security. In conclusion, addressing global hunger is a shared responsibility, and trade, when effectively managed, can be a powerful tool in reducing food insecurity. However, collaborative efforts and strategic investments are critical to overcoming the challenges and building a hunger-free world.
Moving on, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry has launched the 8th edition of the National Programme for Organic Production or NPOP, aimed at promoting ease of operations and enhancing transparency for stakeholders, including farmers. NPOP plays a crucial role in strengthening India's organic certification system. Let's take a closer look at its features. The National Programme for Organic Production prescribes standards, accreditation procedures, and certification systems for the export of organic products. It includes a grower group certification system specifically designed for small farmers. The program incorporates an internationally recognized quality assurance system for organic production, with crop production standards recognized by the European Commission and Switzerland. Additionally, TraceNet, a web-based traceability system, ensures transparency and accountability in the export of organic products. The Agricultural and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority, or APEDA, under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, serves as the implementing agency for this initiative. Moving on to the key highlights of the 8th edition of NPOP. First, the certification process has been simplified. Organic grower groups now have legal status, replacing the earlier Internal Control System or ICS. Second, market support for farmers has been enhanced. The ICS of organic grower groups must now ensure the procurement of the entire organic produce or establish market linkages to support farmers effectively. Another major update is the reduced transition period for converting land to organic farming. Under specific conditions, this period can now be shortened by up to 3 years. Several portals were also unveiled during the event. The NPOP portal for streamlined stakeholder operations, the Organic Promotion Portal links farmers to global buyers, TraceNet 2.0 enhances traceability, and a revamped APEDA portal improves the user experience for all stakeholders. Now, let's talk about the achievements of the NPOP so far. India ranks first globally in the number of organic producers and second in organic agricultural land. The total certified organic area in India has reached 7.3 million hectares for 2023-24, with Madhya Pradesh leading, followed by Maharashtra and Rajasthan. On the export front, organic exports currently stand at 4,007.91 crore rupees and are projected to grow to reach 20,000 crore rupees in the next 3 years. The 8th edition of NPOP marks a significant step in promoting organic farming and strengthening India's position as a global leader in organic production. In a groundbreaking move, the government has made the 10,000 genome database created under the Genome India project available to researchers worldwide. This database will now serve as a digital public good accessible through the Indian Biological Data Center or IBDC portals. These portals archive and provide access to India's genomic data, enabling researchers to explore genetic variations and develop precise genomic tools. Additionally, the database will be shared under the Framework for Exchange of Data Protocols or FEED, launched under the Biotech Pride Guidelines. FEED ensures ethical, transparent, and responsible sharing of high-quality, nation-specific genomic data. The Biotech Pride Guidelines themselves provide a robust framework for the responsible, ethical, and transparent sharing of biological and genomic data in India. Now, let's explore the significance and future outlook of this initiative. The availability of this database is set to revolutionize personalized healthcare by enabling treatments tailored to India's unique demographics. This will pave the way for low-cost diagnostics and precise genetic studies. India's bioeconomy is another beneficiary of this initiative. Having grown from $10 billion in 2014 to $130 billion in 2024, the sector is targeting $300 billion by 2030. India now ranks 12th globally in biotech and holds a third spot in the Asia-Pacific region. The initiative also promises to catalyze interdisciplinary research, providing valuable insights across agricultural, environmental, and industrial sectors. Furthermore, it acts as a catalyst for healthcare transformation, driving advancements in mRNA vaccines, protein manufacturing, and treatments for genetic disorders. For some context, the Genome India project was launched in 2020 by the Department of Biotechnology. Its primary aim is to catalog genetic variations across India's diverse population through large-scale genome sequencing. The genome is made up of DNA and is embedded in 23 pairs of chromosomes, carrying the blueprint of life itself. This initiative not only strengthens India's position as a leader in genomic research, but also promises a transformative impact on healthcare, research, and the economy. In today's place in news, we turn our attention to Chad with its capital N'Djamena, where a recent assault on the Chadian presidential complex has resulted in multiple casualties. Now, let's take a look at the geographical and physical features of Chad. The country is often referred to as the dead heart of Africa due to its central location and arid climate, and it is a landlocked country in north-central Africa. It shares borders with Libya to the north, Sudan to the east, the Central African Republic to the south, Cameroon and Nigeria to the southwest, and Niger to the west. The country's geography is diverse, with a tropical climate in the south, desert in the north, and distinct wet and dry seasons. Major rivers include the Chari and Logon rivers, along with their tributaries. In terms of resources, Chad is rich in oil, gold, uranium, and natron, which are vital to its economy.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. The Supreme Court dismissed the review petitions against the verdict delivered in the Supriya Chakravarti vs. Union of India case. In the Supriya vs. Union of India case 2023, the court declined to recognize queer marriages, leaving the matter to the legislature. Since queer refers to people who identify themselves as LGBTQ+, the court directed the centre to form a committee to examine queer rights without recognizing marriage. The centre has made it mandatory for new applicants to obtain a farmer ID for enrollment into the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi or PM Kisan. Under this scheme, PM Kisan provides income support of Rs 6,000 per year in 3 equal installments to all landholding farmer families. To facilitate this, the Kisan Pehchan Patra, an Aadhaar-like digital identity, links farmers to state land records and verifies land ownership. E-way bills in December were at the second highest level in 2 years, signaling a recovery in the supply chain. E-way bills, which are electronic bills, are required for transporting goods valued at over 50,000 rupees within and across states. They serve as an early indicator of economic activity by tracking the movement of goods. Cornell University's anemia phone technology, which has now been transferred to the ICMR, offers quick, accurate, and cost-effective iron deficiency assessment. The ICMR will integrate it into its programs for anemia, women's health, and maternal and child health throughout the country. Anemia is a condition in which the number of red blood cells or the hemoglobin concentration within them is lower than normal. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited or HAL has stated that DALHS flying safety records are better in comparison to global standards. The Dhruv ALH is an indigenously developed utility aircraft by HAL with a twin engine. It has a multi-role, multi-mission dimension to it. It can be used for the military as well as for civil operations. Sustainable and efficient nanocatalysts have been developed, which have uses in environmental remediation, nanoscale electronics, and surface-enhanced Raman spectroscopy or SERS. SERS is a highly sensitive technique that enhances the Raman scattering of molecules supported by nanostructured materials. The Women Entrepreneurship Platform or WEP of Niti Aayog has launched Empower Her Biz Sapno Ki Udan. WEP, incubated in Niti Aayog in 2018 as an aggregator platform, transitioned into a public-private partnership in 2022. The objective of Empower Her Biz is to empower women entrepreneurs by equipping them with the skills and resources needed. Recently, there has been a proposal to change the name of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Gulf of Mexico shared boundaries with the United States in the north, Mexico to the west, and south, and Cuba to the southeast. It connects to the Atlantic Ocean through the Straits of Florida and to the Caribbean Sea via the Yucatan Channel. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description below.